Have you ever stood at a crossroads, not between two paths, but between the path everyone expects you to take, and the one that appears only to you? The well-trodden road is empty now, the voices that once guided you have faded into echoes, and you are left with a terrifying realization. The next step is yours alone. No one can take it for you. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But he never said it would be easy, because to become who you are, you must often leave behind who you were expected to be, and that is a journey that can only be made alone. This video is for that moment, the moment you know, in the deepest part of your being, that you must force yourself to move forward, not because you are strong, but because staying where you are is no longer an option. With this breath, number 1, you are not alone by accident. You are alone because the mask you wore for the world has become too heavy to carry. Jung called this the persona, and for a while, it works, it protects you, but there comes a day, a moment of quiet crisis. You achieve a success, and feel nothing. You look in the mirror and see a pleasant, capable stranger. The soul cannot live a borrowed life forever. It will begin to rebel. It will send signals, a deep, inexplicable fatigue that sleep cannot cure, a simmering resentment towards the very people you love, a feeling of being trapped in a life that looks perfect from the outside. This is not ingratitude. This is not a failure of your character. This is your true self knocking from the inside. It is the divine discontent that arrives precisely when you have gone too far from your own nature. The loneliness you feel is not the absence of others, it is the absence of you. And so, the world falls away. Relationships shift. Old interests lose their color. It feels like loss. It feels like you are being abandoned. But what if you are being prepared? What if the universe is not isolating you, the one everyone relied on? But he confessed that driving home alone, the silence in his car was so vast it felt suffocating. One night, he pulled over and simply sat there, the weight of his own cheerful facade crushing him. He didn't know who he was underneath it all. That moment of unbearable aloneness was the beginning of his real journey. It was the moment the mask began to crack. Have you ever felt that? The crowd has dispersed, and the performance is over, and you are left with just you. This aloneness is not your enemy. It is the invitation, the first and most difficult step in forcing yourself to move forward is to stop performing for a world that is no longer watching. It is to turn inward. Number 2. When you force yourself to move forward alone, you do not travel empty-handed. You bring all of yourself, especially the parts you have been running from. As you walk this solitary path, you will notice a companion. It follows you, silent and persistent. It is the part of you that is not easy to look at. The anger you buried, the sadness you called weakness, the fear you disguised as calm, the selfish desires, the shameful memories, the raw, unedited version of you that the world was never meant to see. Jung called this the shadow. You believed that if you were good enough, kind enough, successful enough, it would disappear, but the shadow cannot be outrun. It can only be ignored for so long. Its presence is what makes the journey feel so difficult. It is not the path itself that is heavy. We think that to move forward, we must only embrace our light, our strength, our positivity, but by making the darkness conscious, you force yourself forward not by pretending the shadow isn't there, but by stopping, by turning around, by facing it in the dim light and asking, "What are you? Why are you here?" You will find it is not a monster. It is a wounded child. It is a suppressed artist. It is a rightful anger that was never allowed to speak, could survive. Integrating your shadow is not about becoming dark. It is about becoming whole. It is about reclaiming the energy you used to suppress it, the exhaustion you feel. That is the cost of that civil war within yourself. When you stop fighting it, a great peace descends. The path feels lighter. You are no longer running from yourself. You are walking with yourself, and that is the most profound companionship you will ever know. Guided by your own light. For so long, you navigated by external landmarks, the approval of parents, the expectations of culture, the goals society defined as success. But on this path, those stars have faded. Their light does not reach here. This is the most terrifying part. The disorientation, the feeling that you have lost your moral and emotional compass. But Jung would say you have not lost it. You have outgrown it. The old compass was calibrated for the persona, for the mask. It pointed towards safety and approval. It cannot point you towards your true north. Now, you must forge a new one. This is the sacred task of your aloneness. You must ask, not what should I do, but what is true for me. Not what will make me successful, but what has meaning for my soul. This is not a selfish act. It is the most responsible act you can undertake. A tree that grows according to its own innate structure is strong. You are building your own inner fire, your own values, your own definition of a life worth living. This fire will not warm anyone else at first. It is small and fragile, and it is only for you. It is the light by which you will read the new map of your own soul. It is built from the sparks of moments that feel uniquely right to you. The book you read for no other reason than it calls to you. The walk you take with no destination. The no you finally say. The yes you whisper to a forgotten dream. This is how you force yourself forward. With each act, the fire grows brighter. The path ahead becomes a little clearer. You are no longer following a path. You are creating it with every step you take. It is to discover that you were never truly separate. You forced yourself to move forward alone. You left the crowd. You faced your shadow. You built your own fire in the dark. And now, you arrive somewhere entirely new. You arrive at the center of your own being. And here, a great paradox awaits you. The aloneness that once felt like a prison now feels like a sanctuary. The silence that was so frightening is now filled with a profound peace. You realize that the connection you were seeking externally could only be found by first plunging into the depths of your own solitude. Jung called this the discovery of the self, the unified, the light and the dark. It is the point where the individual soul touches the universal. You are no longer a mask looking for a reflection in others. You are a source of light itself, and from this place, a miracle occurs. You can re-engage with the world, but you do so from a place of wholeness, not of need. You can love others not because you need them to complete you, but because your own cup is full. The journey alone was never about eternal isolation. It was about healing the fundamental split within you, so that you could experience true connection without. You forced yourself to move forward alone, so that you could finally come home to yourself. And in that homecoming, you find you are never alone again. So if you are on this path, if the aloneness feels heavy, I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the strength of the ground beneath you. Hear the whisper of your own breath. This is not emptiness. This is the space where you are being remade. You are not lost. You are on the only journey that ever truly matters. And you are exactly where you need to be.